Well, hey, y'all. Happy Tuesday, April 22nd. Um, hey, Elizabeth from Cleveland, Ohio. So good to see you. Glad you're here today. Um, it's another wonderful Tuesday. I'm actually getting ready to travel later in the week. Hi, Ivy from Charlotte, North Carolina, actually one of my favorite cities. Adam, so good to see you. Hope your Easter celebrations were a blessing. Yes. Will you be at ICFF next week? I actually will not be there this year, although I've seen that there's going to be a lot of really wonderful people there. So I'm sure it'll be a great conference. But this year, excuse me, there was just too much going on. I had a family trip it's a family girls trip planned. So I leave for that. Excuse me. That's this weekend. And before then, I get to go to my casting associates, Tiffany Feast. If you guys any of you have encountered Tiffany as you've been auditioning for me or submitting. Excuse me. Anyway, she's getting married on Friday. So I get to go to her wedding on Friday. And then I head to Vegas on Saturday. And then I'm meeting my sister and my two nieces and my sister's best friend, who's also a good friend of mine as well. And we're going to have a couple of days in Vegas. And I come home for one day and then head to Nashville for a week. So really, really excited. But that's the reason that I couldn't go to ICFF. Too many things happening already. So, but Adam, I know you'll have a great time. So you'll have to tell us all about it on the next one. I do know why I'm coughing. All righty. Hi, Amy from Knoxville. I'll be headed to Tennessee, not Knoxville, but at least Tennessee. Hi, Allie. So good to see you. Hi, Sky from Australia. Man, I usually fly Delta, and they were offering a bunch of crazy, like Sky Miles sort of sales to Australia. And I thought, but it's very specific dates, and the dates just weren't going to work. And I thought, man, that's one place I've never been and really, really want to go for sure. Hello from Northern Virginia. Hi, Carolyn. Are you coming to the Focus, the Actors Conference again this year? I feel so bad. I sound horrible, but I'm actually not. Again, an amazing lineup of casting directors, producers. So many of my friends are going to be there and speaking, and so much happening at that conference. And it's a great conference. There's a lot of people to talk to and see, and a lot of people are now living in the Nashville area and have moved to that area. So the availability of people to talk to and interact with, and guest speakers and all of that has just grown and grown. So, but once again, this year I'm not able to make it, unfortunately. But again, I hope to hear great reports from you guys as far as, how it goes. You all can tell me how it's going. Hi, Valerie from Set with your daughter, Evelyn. How's that going? I hope that's going well for you guys. I'm sure Evelyn's doing a great job. Hi, Jan from Alabama. I'm assuming Alabama, but I like Alabama. That sounds good. Hi, Richard. So good to see you. I was looking at Tina Gallo's website today because she's getting ready to do her summer conference. And so I was just looking at her website and saw that you were one of the people she features with your handsome headshot. So that's awesome. Hi, Brooklyn. How's the song going? Yeah, I'm seeing the promotions and the posts about your songs. So that's wonderful. Proud of you. Congratulations. If you guys don't know, I mentioned it last week, but Brooklyn Whitmer released a new song, and you can find it on all of the streaming services. Valerie. Oh, hi, Autumn from Corpus Christi. Hi, Valerie. It's been amazing. The best cast and crew to date. Great. That's always good. That's always what you want to hear, right? It's always amazing when you have a full set of believers and start with group prayer. Yeah, that is a great way to start the day. Um, and of course, most of the sets that projects I've worked on when I visit set, because I work with so many people of faith, prayer is often something that starts the day. And of course, it's optional because not everyone on a set always feels the same way you do or has the same set of beliefs. So you'll always make the prayer optional. But I love sets where it is, in fact, offered and encouraged, but no pressure. And I would hope that that's how people who are not yet people of faith would feel like, hey, I can go, I can be a part of this, I can start my day in a positive way. And so I love that when production companies and directors and producers choose to make that a part of their day. So I'm hearing good things about filming on A Week Away. They've had some crazy weather issues filming in the Nashville area. They had some crazy weather issues, but it seems to be settling down a little bit. So, but they're getting great footage. So if you guys want to follow that on socials, A Week Away series, I think is what the hashtag is, or sorry, what the ID is on like Instagram. And they've been showing kind of montages each day of what they're doing. It's really quite fun. And then also Imagine. So some of you may have seen on my socials, I posted a video of John Michael Finley. So he plays Bart Millard. He played Bart Millard in the first I Can Only Imagine movie. And so he's back to play Bart in I Can Only Imagine 2. And some of you may or may not know the story of how we found him. But basically, we searched high and low all over, did a huge search for the Bart role. And late in the process, actually, where we were kind of thinking, oh my gosh, are we going to really find that person who could act the role, sing the role, and look the role? We were finding some great actors who weren't necessarily great singers. So they talked about maybe lip syncing it. Great singers who weren't the most amazing actors or who were a little green in the acting department. And so then that's always the director's sort of decision. Do they think they could pull the performance from someone and get what they felt like they needed from someone? And then those people who could act and sing but didn't look anything like the role. So it's interesting because, Bart, if you look back at the early days, Bart was stocky. His build was always kind of stocky. And so of course, when you're searching for, early 20 something guys in Hollywood, you rarely get anyone who has anything other than the absolute svelte body or bodybuilding, just because that's, most of what they call for, and their agents and reps want them to be in shape and all of that. And so John Michael Finley, and that's not to say his build is sort of just stockier, just his build in general, not heavy, but just a little bit stockier. Anyway, he sent in a tape and sent in his audition tape, and he sang the song, and it was like, oh my gosh, like this is an amazing voice. I was looking at his credits and looking at his resume, and there was no film credits or TV credits at all. His credits were all theater, and but some Broadway theater. And so I kind of did my deep dive on him, and I found this recording. So at the time that he came across our path, he was on Broadway, and he was the understudy in Les Mis. So he was in the ensemble of Les Mis on Broadway, but he was the understudy for Jean Valjean. And I found buried on the internet someone's audio recording of him singing bring them home or bring him home. But just the audio. So they had, it must have been a friend of his or something, someone he knew had put their camera down. So it was just a black screen, but you could hear him singing the song. And oh my gosh, I just was mesmerized. So I sent everything, of course, to the Irwin brothers and Kevin Downs, and the voice was the first thing that caught everybody's attention. And then it was, okay, we see this potential. The look is there. The voice is incredibly there. And the acting is a different style because, again, he came out of the theater world. So they flew to New York and met with him and worked with him and realized, like, he's the guy. He's perfect. He could sing all the songs himself. He didn't have to lip sync it. He looked the part, and he was a beautiful actor. If any of you guys saw I Can Only Imagine, he did a beautiful job with that. And so anyway, when they came to I Can Only Imagine 2, of course, he's back to play Bart again. And the story takes place several years later. They have kids, and they're quite a bit older. So they were filming one of the scenes where they have hundreds of extras because it's a concert scene. And so they have hundreds of extras. And so they're trying to keep them occupied and in good spirits, and, thanking them for their time and making them feel appreciated. And so they had John Michael Finley come out and sing that song for the audience. And once again, just beautiful. So I reposted that. If you haven't seen that, you could look on my Instagram or my Facebook and probably see it. But that was super fun to see that. And so I hear good things are happening in that production as well. And they're getting great footage. Okay, let's see. Barbara Autry, could you explain what the Actors Conference is and when? So I think you're speaking about Focus, the actors. So the main name of the conference is called Focus, and it takes place in Nashville or Franklin, Tennessee, a suburb of Nashville. And it's being put on by Bold Line Entertainment, which is a management company that is owned and headed by Natalie Dendy. So Diego just put up the information so you could seek that out. It's 2 days. There's a lot of different opportunities and people speaking. And so, just go to the website. You'll see they also have some social media pages, and it's in July. I don't remember the dates, to be honest. I don't remember the exact dates. But if any of you in the comments do know those dates, you can feel free to put those up there or just visit the website that Diego just posted. Hi, Anne from Maryland and Kathy from Ohio. Brooklyn gives us an update. It's going good. Thank you for the love and for your support. God Knew, which is the name of her song, was featured in a wedding the day after it released. Oh, that's sweet. That's beautiful. A bride walked down the aisle to her love with the song. How incredible to know that you wrote something from your heart, that God put something on your heart that touched someone so deeply that on one of the most important days of their life, they chose that to be the song. That's really special. And what a blessing that is to that couple to have that song featured on a K-Love radio playlist. That's awesome. That's great. So proud of you. Hi, Emily. I's here. I love it. Been a while. Excited for the series. Oh, it's so good to see you. Hi, Carolyn from South Carolina. Oh, Brooklyn, thanks. It's been fun to be a part of those projects. I'm a music person. I grew up singing, did some semi-professional singing in my 20s, and always did worship teams until just a few years ago. And so music is a huge part of who I am and a huge part of how God ministers to me and speaks to me, and how I often communicate with God too. music is so powerful for me, such a connection point for me. And so getting to be able to be a part of these projects, these musical oriented projects, is just the icing on the cake. It's just so special, and I do not take it for granted. That's for sure. Let's see. Courtney, you are welcome. Hi, Justina. So good to see you. Oh, Carolyn. So Carolyn Crisano Wong just posted, also posted a link to the website for Focus, so you can see that. And you guys, if you have questions, because tonight I didn't have a pre-agenda of a topic that I wanted to cover. So if you have questions, feel free to ask them, because I'm looking through the comments. So Emily, yes, I hope you can go. I hope you can go. Sarah, you're so great. Sarah Lejeune, you guys, you may remember, and unfortunately, this time I don't know if I have it in front of me. I don't. But Sarah has her book, and Sarah's a great resource if you guys want to go to her website. Sarah, if you want to post your website website address, that would be great, or where they can best find you. But Sarah is a wonderful resource for people who are just starting to get into the industry and trying to figure out where do you start and what do you do. And I just this moment, Sarah, you just came to mind to me for something that I was asked, a young performer that is looking for some guidance. So Sarah, I'll reach out to you. So anyway, Sarah Lejeune, find her resources. She has a book, and also coaches, and does those things, especially for those performers who are trying to figure out, where do I start? What do I do? And kind of just navigate the industry and kind of explain it and make it clear. Sometimes there can be a lot of sort of insider speak with regards to the industry. And so I think Sarah does a great job at laying things out in a way that is clear and concise. So Alicia, I've been praying, begging for a week away series. Yay. So glad it's happening. Isn't that fun? The movie is so perfect. My kids and I have watched it a million times, have the songs on repeat. I loved the music from that. In fact, just a couple days ago, the montage of God Only Knows and Awesome God, that scene where they're around the campfire and they do that and mesh those two songs together. And I just listened to it. And of course, I've heard it a million times and I've seen that scene, but it's just so powerful. But kind of that's what I was saying about. That's just how God speaks to me so many times. He speaks to me through spoken word as well, and things that I read, but music seems to be that thing that just can get my attention. So, hi, Verna. And I, CZATROJ. Evelyn's Christmas movie right now is a musical. Oh, good. And she gets to have a solo. That's awesome. Well, good for her. Barbara, I want to be in family-friendly entertainment like The Chosen. I can only imagine. Well, the good news is, Barbara, is that there's more of it coming, because it is finding an audience and because it's being proven as viable and commercially successful. Because as we all know, this is a business. Studios and production companies, producers, directors, they cannot keep making content if it doesn't sustain itself, meaning it doesn't either pay for itself so they don't go in the hole and can, find funding to make the next one, or is profitable so they can turn those profits around and invest them in the next project. So what's happening is that you're finding projects that are proving themselves to be commercially viable. And by commercial, I mean there's an audience wide enough and big enough for them to support it, and for it to make sense financially for some of these bigger entities and studios and bigger production companies that may or may not have any personal connection to the faith side of the stories, but they're business people. So if it's good business, then they're going to look into it. They're going to explore it. And that's what's happening. So I'm super excited to see more and more producers that I've been following, young producers, kind of the next gen of the filmmaking world, up and coming. I'm excited for a lot of things that are, and all different genres, like epic period pieces, biblical pieces, westerns, all with kind of a faith bent. So it's really exciting right now. Sarah, okay. www.sarahlejeune.com. Okay. So just look at her comment. You'll find her website and you can get more information there. Perfect, Diego. Thank you so much. Hi, Bob. Hello from Nashville. Background actor in the audience at TPAC last Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh, yay. Oh, good. You were there. It just seemed like a great group of people who were so supportive. They were just so supportive of him. And you guys are so patient when you work background and you're willing to like stay and you understand the gig, that it's kind of, there's times when it's just kind of long and boring, but hopefully other times when it's exciting. So Bob, thank you for being a part of that and for being willing to give of your time that way to be a part of those scenes. And it does make a big difference. So Bob, thank you for doing that. And I'm glad it was a good experience. Sky Shokman or Shockman, I'm not sure which it is, so forgive me if I said it wrong. Sky, I'll just say Sky. Thank you so much for doing this. Do you know any faith-based voice dialect coaches? So what I'm guessing you mean is people of faith who happen to be dialect coaches, voice dialect coaches. And there are some, there's a dialect coach. I actually don't know her own personal faith journey, but there's a dialect coach that they use for The Chosen. I don't have her information handy, but I've also used her. I've recommended her for some other jobs as well. So yeah, there are some out there who are working in the faith-based world, but they're not necessarily faith-based dialect coaches. They're dialect coaches who either are people of faith themselves or dialect coaches who have worked on films within that space, but they work on all kinds of material. So, but if any of you guys in our Let's Talk Tuesday family have specific names of people, I know at one time Beth Becca, who's out of Atlanta, was doing some dialect coaching. And again, I'm just not remembering the name of the dialect coach that they use for The Chosen, but she's awesome. She's wonderful. Rich Swingle, if any of you guys know Rich Swingle, I've actually recommended him, and he's been hired to dialect coach on a couple of projects that I've done. He's fantastic. So he is one. And Rich Swingle's a wonderful guy, wonderful man of faith. He's based out of New York City. And you could easily find, I think his website is like richdrama.com. But you could probably just Google Rich Swingle and you'll find his website. But he does dialect coaching, and he's a wonderful man. Very, very smart, very thorough in his research as far as dialects and things like that. Lee, let's see. William. Oh, perfect. Thanks, Diego. www.richdrama.com. Yeah, he's wonderful. He's wonderful. Let's see. Sarah transformed my reels. I didn't like them before, but now I love them. Yay, William. That's great. See, that's another service that Sarah does, which is to help take all the pieces of that you have for your reels and give another perspective and maybe an objective perspective of how they should be maybe put lined up in order, and where you should maybe go in and out of the scenes to be most effective. That is something I do a lot of in my coaching as well, is, let's look at all of the pieces and let's figure out how to maximize those 2 minutes or however long it is, with the absolute best foot forward and best material, best way that we can show off your talent and your best features. So that's something that Sarah does as well. So so that's a good endorsement, William. So if any of you guys are in need of that, you can look up Sarah, or you can make an appointment with me. And either way, I think you'd be in good hands. So Ashley, The Chosen, the greatest series ever, so on point. But I'm as you guys know, I'm no longer working on The Chosen, but I continue to be a big fan of The Chosen. I love what it's doing around the world. I love the actors. I just have a soft spot in my heart for all of the actors that we cast. Obviously, season 5 and now 6, which I was not a part of. I'm not a part of. I don't know those actors, the new actors as well, but certainly all of the actors that I had the joy of casting alongside with Brock Allen casting. Just love all of them. Great people, incredibly talented actors. And it's been a real blessing to be a part of that way. Let's see. Ellen Abramian. I hope I'm not probably doing a very good job with your last names, but anyway, so Diego will probably post when the website is live to start booking appointments. He has all the dates, and we've talked about the times that I'm going to be opening up for coaching. And so I think it's just a matter of getting it all plugged in and getting the website set and ready. So I'm sure he will post when those appointments are available to book. It should be very soon. Let's see. William, you teach with Kirsten Hummer. She's great. Okay, good. That's wonderful. So another recommendation. I love it when you guys are making recommendations to each other, because that's the best kind of endorsement, right? Is people right here who have firsthand experience with someone in a positive way. Richard, Sarah Lejeune also did an incredible job with My Reel. So good job, Sarah. You're getting all kinds of kudos tonight. Valerie Kite, if anyone knows Jeff Rose, actor, director, and one of our kids' coaches, whose son was young Bart, and Bart in I Can Only Imagine. He's in the fight of his life for stage 4 cancer. Please be in prayer for him and his sweet family. Yeah, unfortunately, I did read that. So Jeff Rose is a wonderful, talented actor, coach. He's directed as well. If you guys saw the first I Can Only Imagine, his son Brody played the younger version of Bart Millard. He had that powerful, powerful scene with Dennis Quaid when young Bart comes home from camp and his mom is gone, and he's yells at his dad, like, what did you do to her? And his dad basically pushes him, gets him, and kind of hovers over him on the floor. I happened to be on set the day they filmed that scene, and was that a powerful, powerful scene. Bart was there. If I remember right, Bart was there, and it was very hard for him to see that reenacted and to see that moment on camera. Of course, as you can imagine, Dennis Quaid was ever the professional, making sure that he and Brody talked through everything, that he was very sensitive to Brody being a young actor, and to making sure that they were able to get the intensity of the scene, and they were able to get to a place where the performances could feel real and authentic, but also in a way that there was never any danger, or Brody never felt like in fear of anything. But credit to both of them for Brody to have handled that kind of material that young. But now Brody's father, Jeff Rose, who again is wonderful. I've worked with him a couple of different times, but yeah, he got diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer, and it's now stage 4, and he doesn't have health insurance because after COVID and the acting opportunities dried up, he lost his SAG health insurance. And so, yeah, if you guys have any resources that you could bless him with, even if it's $10, $15, that could mean a lot to them. And I shared on my socials, I shared the page, and I'll reshare it. So if you keep on an eye on my socials, I'll reshare Jeff's page if you have it in your heart or in your resources to be able to help him. I can just vouch for him that he is 100% a man of integrity, a man of God, a great father, a really wonderful actor, part of this faith community and film community. And I know that anything you could do would be appreciated. And of course, prayers. So if you wouldn't mind adding him to your prayer list or put his name on the wall of your prayer closet, however you do that, and however you remember people, I'm sure Jeff would covet those prayers, as would his family. So he's got his kids, Brody being the youngest, and Brody's still a young man. So and he also has his daughter, who I believe just got married. So there's so much of life for him to live and share with his family, and so we pray for him. Barbara, how do I make an appointment with you? So it will be through a scheduling website that Diego Calderon, my manager, my awesome, wonderful, amazing friend / manager, will get that all lined up, and he'll post on our socials and give you a link as to how you make those appointments. Let's see. Charles. Oh, great. I'm so excited, Charles. I can't wait to work together, work with you. Maggie, yes, real life stories are so compelling. They are. Those are my favorite to work on, because my feeling is you can't argue with someone's reality, right? If it's a fictional story, then naysayers can say, oh, well, it just doesn't happen that way, or they wrote that so trite, or they wrapped everything up with a nice little bow, or find criticism in that, especially if it's a story of faith, and say, oh, life's just never like that, and they make it sound way too easy. But if it's someone's real experience, and if they experience God in a miraculous way, or in a transformative, life-changing way, you cannot tell them it isn't true. You can't deny the fact that it happened. You have to come to grips with the fact that this thing happened. God did an amazing thing, or transformed a life, or there was a miracle, and you have to decide what you want to do with that information, whether you want to embrace it or whether you want to choose to not believe it, even though it's right in front of you. But you just can't write it off. You have to take it for what it is and understand it's real, a real life. So that's what I love about true stories, for sure. So Chase, hi Chase. Okay, you guys, Chase Giacomo's wife. Well, I guess it's Chase and his wife. But his wife has this wonderful, wonderful company. It's a beef tallow for skincare company. And I've actually, now today's not the best day, because I did like a 5-mile walk today. I didn't start out intending to do a 5-mile walk. I thought I would walk maybe 2.5, maybe 3, but I was taking a new path, got kind of lost, and turned around. And you go so far, and the only way to get home is to get home. You know what I mean? Like I had to get home. And by the time I got home, it was like 5.1 miles. And I had my little dog with me. And, he's a little Lhasa Apso. So his poor little legs, he probably will not want to go on a walk with me for a few days. But anyway, so today you can see my eyes are a little red, but she has this wonderful tallow company for skincare. And I've been using it for the delicate parts under my eyes. And it's so enriching. The fragrances are beautiful. I've been meeting Chase to go on the website and order the lip balm because, yes, I really want to do that. So Chase, will you please post your wife's company's website or where people can find the product? I just want to tell you it's all natural, and it's made by the company is his wife's company. They're wonderful people, and you can read more about it. So I have really been enjoying it and really love it, and plan to continue to purchase from them. So, but your question, Chase, because you did not ask me to do an endorsement of your wife's products, but let's see. Are there tips for chemistry reads, or just chemistry exists or not? So chemistry reads are tricky, especially if it's a Zoom chemistry read, because chemistry reads in person, you typically are given some time to gel together, a few minutes. Even if it's like in the waiting room, you can talk, and at least it's not cold where you're going in. And by virtue of the idea that you're doing a chemistry read with someone, another actor, means that we need to see chemistry between those two characters. And so that can be difficult. The best thing that I can say to you is do your best to go in very open-minded. Sorry, I keep bumping the microphone. Do your best to go in very open-minded. Don't go in with any agenda or try to anticipate or overthink what might happen or could happen, or, if they do this, then I could do this. And if they read like this and approach a scene like this, I would tell you the same thing I would tell you for prepping your scene for any audition, which is find those connection points to the character, find the connection points to the scene, come from a place of internal connection first, and understand who this character is, what they want, why they're doing what they're doing. Understand the backstory, whether you've been given the backstory or you're creating the backstory. Understand the world in which these characters live and exist. Do all of that, and then know your material so well. The best thing you can do is just know the lines, know the material so well that you can let it go. Because in a chemistry read, what we want to see is two people engaging. We want to see them listening, actively listening and reacting and being present in the scene with the other person. So if you're super in your head about the lines and about a bunch of kind of technical things that you've put into the scene, you're not present in the moment. The chemistry read is to see, do you listen to each other? How do you react when maybe that actor does something different? Are you going with them? Are you flowing with them? Can you pivot if they throw something different? And we want to see that. We want to see two actors that are both there to bring their best and give their best to the other actor. Oftentimes, when we're doing a chemistry in a case where one of the actors has the role, and then we're doing chemistry of candidates for the other role. So whether it be a romantic role, so romantic roles are pretty common, of course. but then there's also father son. So I can only imagine, of course, John Michael Finley was already cast as Bart, but we did chemistry reads for the actor who would play his son, Sam. We wanted to see what that dynamic was, and we did several of them. And then we asked John Michael, you tell us about your experience with each of the actors, and the things that that actors often talk about is, oh, I felt really comfortable with them, or I felt like they just went with me, when I kind of maybe did something different, I felt they were right there with me. I felt connected to them, like we were both actively listening. I felt like they were giving me as much as I was giving them. So the chemistry reads are not just about performance, but it's about all of it. Like, what would it be like for these two actors to be in the trenches for a month or 2 months, day in, day out, bringing these scenes and bringing these characters to life? Are these two actors that get along? Are they two actors that are respectful of each other, who are giving to each other, who are generous, and who are open and willing to learn from the other person and listen to them and glean from them, and kind of do a push and pull along the journey. A lot of times it's, will they play with each other? And that can be drama or comedy. It's just, will they kind of both step off the safety net together a little bit and go out on a limb and support each other in that, right? You don't want to be the one that steps out of the safety zone and then the other person's like, nope, I'm staying in the safety zone. You're on your own. You want someone who's like, okay, we can do this. We can do this together. I'll go with you. I'll support you in this. That's the kind of chemistry we're looking at. So it's far more than just a delivery of lines. It's a relationship. It's a connection point with not only the two characters, but the two actors. Will these be two people who can work well together? So hopefully that, hopefully that gives you some feedback or some understanding. Let's see. Valerie, love tallow. It's the only thing that clears up one of my kids' winter eczema. Yeah, I didn't know anything about it till they gifted me with some that I now love. And so let's see, Grace. Yes, you look. Oh, thank you. Oh, you guys are so kind. Let's see, Lexi, how can you stand out in a taped audition when you only have a few seconds to catch their attention? Don't try to stand out. That's what I'm going to say. Don't try to stand out. Because when you try to stand out, try too hard, it feels manipulated, or it feels like you're trying too hard, too earnest. Just be genuine. Be appropriate and genuinely connected to that moment, whatever it is. Be uniquely you. Bring who you are to, even if it's one line, who you are. If you're a quirky person and you're going to be the waiter that comes up and says, can I show you the wine list? Then be who you are. Don't try to be who you think they want you to be. Just be who you are. Approach it in a way that makes sense to you, and be genuine. And don't try too hard. Just be connected, be in it, be genuine. That's the best thing you can do. What links or connections do I need to be cast in family-friendly type content? It's like anything else. There isn't like just one place you go and a link that you can follow that will then lead you and then you get cast in content. It's like anything else. You have to do the work, research who the filmmakers are. I've said this before, IMDb Pro is really important. You need to be knowing who the filmmakers are. You need to follow their journeys and what they're doing. If they're doing podcasts, you need to be engaged in the world that you want to be a part of. You need to be educated about the people who are doing the work that you want to do and the opportunities you have to connect with them or learn from them, whether that's through a podcast or like we're doing this, or if they're going to do a workshop or a seminar or anything, you need to be engaged in the community in a deeper, long-term way. There is no easy way you just do A, B, C, and then you get cast. It isn't that way in mainstream films. It isn't that way in faith-based films. That in that way, it's no different. But the best thing you can do is to know who the filmmakers are, who the people are who are making the kind of content. So if you were a horror buff and you wanted to do horror films, then of course you would research who are making the kinds of films that, I want to be a part of. Same thing. If you were a sci-fi nut and you loved everything about the sci-fi world or Star Wars or Star Trek or, any of those, you would go and seek out those people who were making that content. It's no different in the faith-based industry. Seek out the people, learn about the people who are making the content that you're doing. Who are they working with? What are they producing? Where can you learn more about them? Where can you hear from them? Are they doing workshops? Are they doing podcasts? Is there a way to just know more, learn more, immerse yourself in the world? And networking, like in any part of this entertainment business, is important. And it doesn't necessarily mean every director or producer or whatever, but you meet people who then will tell you, oh yeah, I just heard that so-and-so is doing the next season of Vindication, or, is doing a film and they're casting right now. Check this out. Like, that's networking, just building friendships and relationships within the community, but do it with with a perspective of also giving as much as you're getting. So be that person that is as giving to others as you're hoping others will be to you. Bring what you can bring. And maybe that's just encouragement. Maybe you have the gift of encouragement and you can just be that encouragement. Brooklyn, I will say that's one thing that I really love about you. And Brooklyn is such an encourager. Many of you guys are, actually. I'm really grateful for you. But I'll just get notes or just an encouraging thought. And it really makes a difference, not only just on a personal level, knowing that you were able to bless someone that way, but it draws us closer and connects us on a way that is deeper than just I want a job, give me a job. It's I want to be a part of this community. I want to be a part of this world that is creating the content that is important to me. So yeah, I wish there were an easier way for me to tell you, do A, B, C, and then it happens for you. It just isn't that straightforward. So let's see. Okay, Charles, I love it. Living versus lying, right? You want to live the moment, not lie and pretend. I mean, you are pretending. You know what I mean? You want to live in it. You want to live in these imaginary circumstances, understanding them. You want to just be and exist. I shared this a couple weeks ago. Alan Powell had said in one of our callbacks, which is feel more, show less. Because we had an actress who was going a little broad and a little big, and he wanted her to go deeper internally. And so he said, feel it more, show it less. Because when you feel it, then what you show has such integrity about it and such a genuine quality about what comes from a real genuinely connected place internally. So, sister-in-laws. Okay, so it's his sister-in-law's tallow company. Chase, all this time I thought it was your wife. Okay, sorry. It's your wife's sister, I guess. Okay, sister-in-law's tallow company, super clean. It is, it's great. So facebook.com, share, and you can see all the letters that will tell you. And if I remember one of these days, I'll bring the name of the product as well. So anyway, let's see. Alicia, if you were in a faith-based film already, would it hinder you from being in another one of a different type? No, I don't. No, I wouldn't think so, unless it was like the same exact kind of role but no, I wouldn't think so. I mean, there might be a few exceptions, but in general, my answer is no. Allison, watching from Florida. Hello. Do you have any advice for choosing monologues for just a general audition? I'm going to be attending the auditions at ICFF next week, and I'm trying to narrow down choices. My biggest advice I can tell you is you got to choose something that you connect to. You've got to choose something that makes sense to you, that you can live, like Charles said, that you can live in, that you do not choose a monologue based on what you think they want to see. Worst thing you could do. Worst thing. Choose a monologue based on what you connect to and what really resonates with you, and you can get a clear vision for how you would approach that character in that scene, and a world in which makes sense to you, that you can exist in for that monologue. That's more important. Do not try to anticipate. And that goes the same whether it's comedy or drama. Do not try to anticipate what you think they want to see. You got to choose something that resonates for you on a very deep level, on a very, and that could be comedy too, that makes sense, that you understand, that you enjoy, that you relate to, that you want to spend time in that world, even if it's a dark, intense kind of a scene, but you get it, and the challenge of going to a deeper, darker place is invigorating for you. That's what you need to choose. So, Mona's, it was so much fun being an extra last week in Nashville concert scene. I follow what they do. I love their work. Yeah, even that opportunity, that's a great point. Being there, being an extra, being a part of that, seeing who's kind of the world that they're making, the filmmaking, watching them work, seeing who's who, learning that, having the opportunity to meet other people. And I'm sure there were people who are actors and people who were not and just wanted to be a part of it. But that's all a part of building this network of people that is kind of in the same place you are. So, okay, Grace, do you do generals or general meetings with new folks? I have been lately. I've been doing that through my coaching, one-on-one coaching. That's really the best way to do that. But it just depends. You can always email Diego, but generally I've been doing that through the coaching. But you can reach out, and I can connect with you, or at least give you a more specific answer. Charles, yeah, got to go. Well, I got to go too. So, hey, Robert. Oh my gosh, you said, did I just make it in? You did just make it in. But I'm about to go. So feel more, Show less. Yeah. See, Chase, that's Alan Powell. I can take no credit. That's Alan Powell. Emily, appreciate you. Everyone's she's signing off. And so I need to as well because my wonderful husband, two things. I love a lot about him and appreciate a lot about him, but two things today. He loves working outside in the yard and getting the yard and the lawn looking good and planting vegetables, which what a joy that I get to enjoy the fruits of his labor or the vegetables of his labor, as the case might be. And he loves to cook. So he has an amazing pot of soup on that I get to enjoy as soon as I get off of here. So as much as I love you, I'm kind of hungry. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. I hope this has been helpful, and we'll be back. I'm out of town next week, so I probably won't be able to do a Tuesday night. But if we can get a guest in there, we'll let you know and keep you posted. But so I'm not sure, but I'll find out. We'll let you know either way. But I sure love you guys and appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you again and sharing with you next time we come together. Love our Let's Talk Tuesday family. And there's nowhere else I'd rather be on Tuesday nights. Well, I say that, but then I'll be in Vegas next week, which, but my heart will be with you guys. Love you guys and have a great week. Bye.